Hey everyone, welcome back. This is part 3 of my little series on the buildings, the ploppables, ploppables, SimCity 5 here. The previous two videos, be sure to check out if you haven't. You can check them out in the playlist, or you can. There should be links up on the top, possibly down below. Shouldn't be too hard to find them, but I'm going through and kind of explaining what the different functions, the different buildings are, and the different add-ons with them. Kind of going a little bit more into detail so people can kind of understand before they put them down what they're used for and how they function. So the first video part 1, I did the roads, the zone, power, water, sewer, the government building, and this garbage. And part 2, I did the fire, the health department, and the police. And I kind of went into detail about them. So if you're curious about them, be sure to check out the other videos before this to get an idea. And if you have any questions, again, be sure to post them. If you notice anything I may have done wrong, said wrong here, be sure to just make a comment below and I'll try to correct it. I'm still learning the game. I've played all the other SimCity games, loved them. This one's been quite buggy, but I'm still wanting to help people out that are determined that they want to play this game. And I have faith that eventually it's going to get fixed. How long? Who knows? But so, on to the next. The next building, I guess button, plopping, we're going to talk about is education. There's a little bit more going into the education. Some people already know and some people don't. I'll go ahead and go through real quickly what the different buildings are. So you do have a grade school, you've got your bus stop, you've got your high school, you've got a public library, you've got the community college, and the university. They are actually listed lowest to highest. Each has a different amount that they can take in. The only building or the only one here that doesn't have an addition is the bus stop, of course. And what the bus stop does is that is only functionable for the grade school and the high school. It does not affect the community college and, of course, the public library. So the grade school, I'll go ahead and pop that down. What that does is it's just your basic school. It doesn't, it increases a little bit your land value for medium wealth, as you can see there, but it's not a humongous thing, but it does help. So I'm going ahead and putting all these down just so you can kind of see what they got going on, but you can see the different looks of them actually. But we'll go ahead and start with the school bus stop because that'll be the easiest. Alright, once again, that's only for the grade school and high school. And what this does is the grade school, high school have school buses that go out and get your Sims, but they will only stop where there is a bus stop. So you want to make sure you're putting your bus stops in the area where there's residential. And when you're hovering your bus stop over where you're going to put it, you can see the green on the road. What that does is that's the coverage map. That's basically how far Sims are willing to walk to get to that school bus. So if I put it right here, Sims will walk from where my avenue is up to that school bus stop, and they'll walk about the same distance from the other side. As you notice, from the end of the road way down here, if I've got a school bus stop way up here, they will not walk to it, and in turn they won't get educated. So you want to kind of watch where you're placing them. You don't want to place too many, otherwise you will get traffic issues, but you also want to place enough where you're going to get all your Sims covered that you want to have covered. So grade school, you open it up, it'll still show the amount of students in the class. It shows you the school hours, 6 a.m. to 3 p.m. The city students, how many students from in town are in your city, and then derp, regional. Regional seems to be pretty buggy. It does sometimes work, but in essence what that is it's just students from other cities in your region coming to your school here. So it's supposed to function like that. Like I said, sometimes it doesn't, and God knows sometimes it doesn't. But we'll go into the edit, and you have a few different functions here. You've got your flagpole, you've got your sign, both cosmetic, you've got your school buses, you've got your classrooms, the lower and the top floors. School buses just allow you to get more Sims. That's what that does, it makes it so more Sims are able to get to school. Basically, you just plop that down in your little parking lot. It doesn't go around the outside, it goes in the parking lot, which is nice for space. And you just put down however many you need as you're playing. You'll kind of see how many are actually needed. Your next one is your classrooms. This is the lower level. You can put a maximum of 4 classrooms. So if you want them all on the lower level, you can put them down on the lower level. If you want to do a space thing, you drop one of the lower classrooms, and then you've got your top floor that can sit right on top of it. That is all the further it stacks. These cannot actually stack on top of them. So once again, you would have to lay another lower level and then put a small one up. The max, if I remember right, is 950 students that you can teach when you're fully upgraded on this. So just keep that in mind. And you'll always see down here how many students are enrolled, how many there are total. You will sometimes have less students going than are actually enrolled, and that can be for a variety of reasons. So you kind of want to look into your traffic. You want to make sure the buses are getting to them, there's enough school bus stops, etc., etc. Otherwise they can miss out. Then you have your educational level here, which does increase as more Sims or better schools. Your tech level is basically regarding your colleges and your universities and your industrial. The higher your tech level is, the higher tech level you will have in a city, in an industrial style city. So you want to watch that. Next one is your high school. Once again, the students amount, the city, and the regional students. This one holds 800 right off the bat. Each school has a different amount, so you'll have to want to read that. And then again, you want to read how many each classroom adds. This one is in essence the same as the grade school. It does give a couple extra perks actually. I'll let you read it here. They'll recycle, pollute less, cause less fires. All the schools help in the sense of fires and pollution. I believe the high school and up is what helps you with your recycling. I'm pretty sure otherwise your regular grade school doesn't, if I remember correctly. Once again, you've got your school buses here that you plop right into the lot. You've got your flagpole and your sign. This one has an additional gymnasium. What that does is it increases the land value. Of course, all the schools increase land value, and it actually adds like tourism in a sense. It's like if you're in a city and you've got a big gymnasium, schools tend to have like basketball games and whatnot for their student. And so what that does is it will bring in, or it's supposed to bring in, extra tourists for that reason. Sometimes you question how it's supposed to work, whether it does or not, but all right. Then you have your regular classrooms. It adds again 1,000. It plops down next to the high school building. It's got to be connected to it. If I remember right, these are stackable. Yes, they are stackable, so you can put these on top of each other. And it kind of saves some space. You're limited to 4 extra classrooms, just like the school bus is 4. So you can have unlimited amount of gymnasiums, as far as I understand. But there's really no point in it. It kind of helps a little bit. Sometimes the people will gripe about it that they want the gymnasium. So, and again, like I said, for the high school and the grade school, school buses are a priority. So you've got your public library, which is just simply that. It's a public library. It almost functions like what the parks do. Sims that don't have commercial areas but have money will go to the public library, and they'll gain happiness from it. So, in like a pure residential type city, having the libraries is actually good. It also increases your education level in the city. So it is beneficial to have one. You don't have to necessarily have one if you've got, you don't need it for a setup, but it does help for like a pure residential type setting. That's about all there is to that. Your college. This is a little bit different. You've got the same, the class amount, the students in regional, but you've got different starting times. You've got the 6, 9, 12, and 3. classes all start at that time. So what happens is your students that are in class they'll start to peak up, and then from 6, and then at 9 o'clock it'll drop back down to, let's say you had 400 students at 8:59. At 9 o'clock it'll drop down to, let's say, 150 students, and then it'll slowly build back up. So you can actually have, I don't know, 750 students going to the college and still not outgrowing the need to only have a 500 student capacity type school. So you kind of want to watch that. It'll let you know if you're, if one of these 3-hour blocks starts to go over and you're maxing it out, it'll actually show you, and then you have to go in and add in an extension wing. And what that does is it gives you an additional 500 students that can come in at each of them 3-hour blocks. So and then of course you have your flagpole and you've got your college sign, again, cosmetics. So and what this does, the college also adds to your tech level. If you want to make a high-tech industrial type city, you need to have a college or a university. At minimum, a college. That will give you at least a number 2 tech level, if I remember right. So you'll get kind of the medium tech type buildings. So you got to at least have that. There is a data map you want to use, industrial tech map it's called, and what happens with these the college and university is, as students come, it makes this imaginary tech level, and any industrial buildings that are nearby, it goes in order, start to fill with that tech level. They fill up with it, and that is how they remain at their tech level. If you don't have enough students, or you have too many industrial buildings, you'll start coming out with unskilled workers messages, and you'll have to demolish buildings. So you want to make sure that you have enough students to keep that tech level in each of them buildings up. And this is all you have to do. You look in this map and you'll see a little like yellow bar that rises from each of your different tech buildings. And it kind of goes with the nuclear power plant as well. You have to have a tech level in order to keep it functioning the way it's supposed to be functioning. You got to pay attention to that. So, but that's, like I said, that's for the tech type buildings if you're interested in them. But that basically covers that. And students commute by car, by school bus, or not school bus, but like regional buses, shuttle buses. That's how they actually get here. So school bus stops will do nothing for a community college. You want to take and make a school bus, or a normal transit bus stop right in front of the school, or as close to it as you can, because then the students will get off and they'll go into the school. And the university functions the same way with the bus stops. You want to have like municipal bus stops in order for them to function or get students in and out. The university, this one's going to give you the same information at the top, the maximum. It's in 3-hour chunks. You've got a start research button, and you've got an upgrade. Your university gets upgraded when you get so many students through a day. The student level, how many can be in their work, the same way as the college. You can have 800 as a max here, but that is in them 3-hour blocks. So from 6 to 9, 9 to noon, noon to 3, 3 to 6 p.m. You can only have a maximum of 800 students in them blocks, which, starting out is fine. And as you start getting more students, that's how this starts to upgrade. And then when you get an upgrade, when you reach that 1,000 mark, or the next level, which I think is 2,000 and 3,000, you'll get an upgrade button. You simply just click it, and then you go in, and you've got these little funks. Your first one is just a pedestrian path. It's to add on to this little road here. What it does is it's so you can add additional buildings on to places for your university. Let's say you put it in a funky location and you've got all kinds of buildings and roads on this side, so you can't actually place anything else over here, but it's wide open over here. You put this little road, and then it'll allow you to place your buildings right on that road as well. So these buildings have to be on one of these types of roads. You can place them now. You see here, I can't place it here because that library is sitting there. It's another building. Um, so this road over here would have functioned to lay it down. But again, they just plop down right next to the side or on the road connecting to it. You can place them, as long as they're within range of the college. You are pretty open how far away you can get with them. I've not actually tried to see how far. Okay, there's my max. You've got a good distance that you can actually go away from the college, or the university. That building was a dormitory. What that does is, instead of having to zone out more residential, let's say you've got all your residential out there and you still don't have enough students down in this box here. You lay the dormitory, and what that does is it adds 500 students to your population without actually having to move in 500 more students into your residential. They will always stay at the school. That, it's nice to have, because then you're not clogging up your streets with another 500 Sims. They just stay there. You've got these are your additional schools that connect on. Your School of Business, your Engineering, your School of Law, your School of Medicine, and School of Science. And they function the same way. You plop them right down on the road surrounding the university. And you can only put one down per upgrade that you get. They do cost a little bit, as you can see, so it's something you kind of got to be up for. And they also add a capacity. So like when you started this, you looked at it, you had a capacity of 800 here. When you add that, you add this one down, you'll get an extra 500, so you'll be up to 1,300 students you can have. The dormitory does not do that. It doesn't add a capacity, so it just adds students. So make sure you keep that clear. Each of these buildings also have their own function. They give you additional benefits through the region. The detective wing, like I said, I showed you earlier. Let me see if I can find. No, well, that's from a research project. So I guess I'll go through. You can kind of look. Okay, there you go. You can just see it. It increases commercial profits across the region. So any commercial buildings in your region will get bigger profits from their sales. That's all that one does. Your Engineering increases low and medium wealth industrial profits. So both of these are profit makers. And then you have your School of Law. It helps with your criminals, lower rehabilitation, that kind of thing. Your School of Medicine helps with the medical, reducing the chance Sims in the region get sick. And these are all region-wide. So once again, once you have it in the region, the whole region benefits from it. So if you're doing a 16-city region, nice to have these. And then you've got your high-tech profits. This just helps increase their profits. And now once you lay each of them down, depending on what you want to do, the research projects plan, you have to have a certain building to do a specific research project. So let's say you want to do the concentrated solar array, which is an add-on for one of your power plants. You have to have the School of Science laid down on your university, and then you'll have a button right here that says yes or something like that, and what you do is you click it and it'll start to research that. And as students come to school, the research will complete faster and faster, and then eventually this will open up and you'll be able to place the solar array with your power plant, your solar power plant that you have if you're using it, or anywhere in the region. It doesn't have to be just in the city. And then you've got a bunch of different ones. You've got your Great Work, the solar farm Great Work. All of these do cost money. Keep that in mind. So you want to see what the research cost is. And I think it honestly takes, I think the longest it took me was like four or five in-game days to complete it. It wasn't, real life. It was just sim days, so it's relatively quick. But each of them do different functions. Some of them are upgrades to another. Like this one, you got to have the School of Science. That's the Gen 2 thermal reactor for your nuclear power plant. and you actually have to research that one before you can research this one, which is the next one up for your nuclear power plant, which I showed in my first video for the add-ons. And each of them have their own function, and you kind of got to play around to see what you want to do. If you want to try to do like an educational city, it's great, you get all these done. If you're just worried about getting a specific thing, focus on that, get it, and then do what you're going to do from there. But each one has their benefits, and they add on, like the detective wing for the police precinct. That is what gives you that detective wing. Without doing this research in your region, you will not be able to put down that detective wing. So that's in a nutshell how the university works. So I think I kind of covered everything with the cities here, or with the schools here. There's a lot of schools, and there's a lot of little things to learn about them. So you kind of, hopefully this part helped you a little bit. So and just to add on, you don't need to have a trick that some people don't realize is you don't have to have the grade school and, let's say, university. Sims are not, they don't care what kind of school you have, as long as there's a school. They're not done on age groups, so it's not like little Sims will only go to grade school. Little Sims will go to the university. Big Sims will go to a grade school. It doesn't matter as long as there is a school. So don't waste your money by trying to put down each and every one of these. You put down your grade school. If you get the money to drop down a high school, put your high school down, and you can close your grade school and then demolish it. It's not needed anymore. You're just going to fight over what schools are going to go to. So it's not worth doing. It's not worth the upkeep cost either. So you only need to have one school to satisfy all the Sims educational needs. So I think that kind of covers that.